Hello and welcome to this TramSim Let's Play. I'm Benjamin, the Senior Community Manager here at Dovetail Games, and I'm joined by Daniel, who is the Marketing and Community Person at ViewApp. Hello Daniel, and thank you for joining me.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. It's really great, thank you.
It's my absolute pleasure. So if you are watching here today, you'll have just seen the trailer. We'll also play the launch trailer at the end of the stream in case you happen to miss it. If you haven't seen it, you can also just watch it on our YouTube channel or the ViewApp YouTube channel or across our socials, which you can see conveniently located across the bottom of the screen for you right now. So today we're taking a look at TramSim Console Edition, which was released as of, when did it come out, Daniel?
On Tuesday, the April 25th, so I guess last week from when you're seeing that?
Exactly. Depending on when you saw this, that was the date that it came out. So TramSim Console Edition is available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. It's developed by the wonderful people at ViewApp and is published by ourselves here at Dovetail Games. Now, to go through some of the important information, like how much does it cost? Where can I buy this game? So there's two different versions of TramSim Console Edition you can buy. There's the Standard Edition and the Deluxe Edition. The Standard Edition is £32.99, €39.99 and $39.99 in dollars. The Deluxe Edition is £44.99 in pounds and $49.99 in both euros and dollars. And in terms of what you actually get included in those two versions of the game, in fact, Daniel, take it away. What do you get in the Standard Edition of TramSim Console Edition?
So in the Standard Edition, you actually get Vienna and Munich, so both cities in just one game. Previously, we had that in two different games, but we thought for the console version, we just have both of these cities in just one game. You're also getting the Flex City tram and the Type E2 tram. Which are both, the Flex City is pretty much the newest, the most modern tram from Vienna, and the Type 2 one is kind of a retro, old nostalgia type tram for everyone. That's the two you get in Vienna, and the one you get in Munich is the R2-B tram.
Nice.
But there's also, as we said, the Deluxe Edition, which has the ultra-low floor tram, so the ULF, as we call it in Vienna. And it's still, as the name states, ultra-low floor. It's one of the lowest trams ever worldwide and still is. And that comes with in 4 different versions in ULF A, A1, B, and B1, which the A1 is like the modern version of the A. And same with the B1, and the A is the short one, the B is the long one. So, yeah.
Super easy.
Exactly, yes. It only took me a couple of months to really get it.
Yeah, and there's also some extra stuff you get in the Deluxe Edition version, including, I'm not going to pronounce this depot, Daniel, I'm going to let you take that away.
It's the Favoriten Betriebsbahnhof.
Which is the Vienna Favoriten depot, in how we'd say it in my horrible English accent. There are also some scenarios that you can take part in that are exclusive to the Deluxe Edition as well, right? So they're situational scenarios that you can complete that give you some extra variety in the kind of gameplay you can experience. Now, for today's stream, we're going to try and show you a bit of everything that there is to offer. And we're going to start off with taking a look at some of the menus. So Daniel, what should I be drawing people's attention to here, first of all, do you think?
I mean, we can see the beautiful trams in Vienna, the Flex City, if anyone hasn't seen it yet. But we pretty much remade the whole menu for console, just so everyone on consoles with the controllers can get a really specific experience for their console. So we have that. We can show the different vehicles that are there. Exactly, we have the Flex City.
Well, it's nice that it gives you some history about each of them as well, and a bit of information,
Exactly, that too. Um, yeah, it shows. I mean, especially all the trams we have here in Vienna and in Munich have a lot of history. Some of them are years old now. Some of them are pretty modern. And to just see how everything came together, how it evolved over the years is really exciting to see.
Definitely. And I suppose we should point out for reference that for the purpose of this stream, we are recording this gameplay from an Xbox Series X, a normal one that you'd buy from a shop, just to clear that up. So
Exactly.
we should probably talk about tutorials, right? So there's a couple of different ways that you can learn in game, which is very useful because, to be fair, it can be complicated if you want it to be, but you can make it less complicated too if you'd prefer. So there's general help, and this is sort of written guides, sort of everything you might need to know about how to start up vehicles, how to do shunting, how to like different speed limits, which I'm not very good at. I don't know the speed limits, so I'm going to need Daniel to help me with that. All the different signals and how they work. So if you have already played the interactive tutorials, which you can do through the basics here, or through signals, or through gameplay, you can always go and refresh your memory just by sort of reading through some of the bits that you want to try and understand. There's also interactive tutorials that happen, or prompts I should probably call them, right, Daniel, that happen in game. So if you're starting a new route, for example, and you have forgotten how to start up the tram, you can either go to the options and read through these tutorials, or on-screen prompts will come up that you can flick through to help you get started, right?
Exactly. And I would advise any new player to play those tutorials, to look at those tutorials, because I was one of those people that didn't do that because I thought, I know
Easy.
trams. I don't need that. And I was there with all those buttons and I did not know what to do. So now I kind of know what to do. And those tutorials are the main reason why I can play this game.
Awesome. Well, look, full disclosure, I'm going to be the person that's doing the driving today. Um, the game hasn't been out very long. I haven't had much time, so Daniel's going to be assisting me virtually as best that he can. But don't expect this gameplay to be an accurate simulation, if you will. I'll be as close as I can be. So, is there anything else in the menus you want to take a peek at?
The settings are really cool
Okay.
because they show you a lot of, especially. I mean, you can see the controls. We've really thought about how we can make those controls happen, how we can implement them as easily as possible and as usability friendly as possible. To really just have people understand that. And one of the main features is the D-pad menu, which we'll take a look
Yeah.
at a later time. But that's pretty much the biggest change or the biggest innovation we've had with that, and we're really proud of that. And it's just a fun thing to
Yeah,
do.
and I think from the limited
To
time that
use.
I've had my hands on with the game, like generally speaking, it feels intuitive, and I actually really like the way that you speed up and slow down, because in the cab you'll see that it's a you push your lever forwards to increase the speed, you pull a lever back to slow down, and you do that on the joystick, which just feels like a natural thing to want to do. You know, it's nice.
Exactly. It can take a bit of time to get used to that, especially for TSW free players. But I've seen a lot of feedback in the last couple days, and everyone just said that it's amazing to try it like that, especially because you can get really detailed movement out of it. It just slowly starts when you slowly press the L button forward, so it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. So there's obviously various things that you can change and adjust, from field of view to brightness to independent audio levels to different ways that the camera handles, camera speed, all that kind of jazz. Lots of options for you to explore.
Exactly. And the languages we have here are a lot, honestly. We have German, English, simplified Chinese as
Hmm.
well, Russian, a lot of French,
Yeah,
Spanish.
Nice.
So a lot of languages. Everyone can play it
Lovely.
in
Right.
their.
Shall we jump into some gameplay? So we've got some things. We've got some things planned that we'd like to show you in different ways to play and different things to see. But we figured we'd start off with exactly what you would see the first time that you were just to jump into the game and hit start game. This is what you'd see. So we're in Vienna. We're using timetable mode. We're doing route 1. Where are we? What's the direction of travel? Where are these places?
In what do you mean exactly?
So here it says direction of travel, and we've got entry station. Where are these places?
So where they are, Stefan. Honestly, the Stefan Fadinger Platz, I myself don't know where exactly it is. I know what the Prater is. The Prater is a pretty big kind of theme park thing, and the Prater Hauptallee is right next to Prater, which is kind of like a green area where everyone can just chill out pretty much or do sports. It's really green. It's really fun there. So we're driving from the second district right on into the first district, into the ring. We have just a lot of sites there with the Oper and the Rathaus. I don't know which the English words for most of those things. You can help me out.
So the only thing we're going to change here, because we want to try and show you sort of different times of day and different weather, we're going to show you an early morning situation in a bit. So I'm going to change the time here to about 4:30 p.m. Give me a second to get there, though. I'm going to fast forward this bit.
Yeah.
All right. So, where was the basic one? Was it there?
Exactly that one. Yes.
Cool. So we're going to start this route at 4:30 p.m. using the Flexity, which is as Dan said, is the most modern or newest of the trams available in this service. We'll change the weather to dynamic, why not, and we'll see what happens. But we'll start off with sunny conditions. Do you want to explain what COVID mode is before we jump into this?
Well, COVID mode is, back then, people had to wear masks to travel in the tram, obviously. And we also implemented that just because that was the most accurate thing back then. And it's still relatively accurate now. So we added those so people wear masks when going inside the tram.
Nice. We'll leave that off for now, so we don't have traumatic memories of that time. So for the purpose of this first route, we're going to leave startup vehicle off, which essentially means that the tram will be ready to go, the destinations will be plugged in, the computer system will be all set up and ready to go, and all we need to do is drive and stop and let people on and off and drive and follow signals and do a proper job of it. So without further ado, should we jump on into it, Daniel?
Sure, let's do that.
Let's do it. From now on, you will not be able to see our faces so that you can experience the game in its full glory. All right, here we go. No pressure.
I'm excited to see how much you've learned over the last few days.
I'm excited too. Right, so first thing we need to do is hit enter here. So if we look across the top menus here, we can see that currently the time is 4:30 as per our request. And we can see here we're doing route 1. We can start our journey at 5:03, but we're probably just going to have to start early, right? That's fine. There's lots of trams, right? There'll be another one coming along. So here we are. We're in the tram. Everything is set up, ready to go. All I need to do to start moving is press gently forward on my joystick, and I should start slowly moving forwards.
Yeah, there you can see the I don't know what it's called in English, the joystick of the tram moving.
Yes, yeah. So gently forwards, gently back, exactly. And then it stays in the middle, sort of neutral, so it's just coasting when it's in the middle. So this tram has a sort of cruise control option built into it, right? But I haven't really used that too much. Do you use that normally?
I do, honestly, yes.
Interesting. Maybe we'll give that a go. It might help me because I don't know what the speed limits are. How do you know what speed limits are? You'll be able to help me with that.
Honestly, I'm just assuming.
Right, so we've got our location to stop there. Come into a nice slow stop. And then I need to unlock the doors for people to be able to get on. So I'm just going to press X here. You see some lights light up there. You can do this using the buttons down here, but I don't know which button does what yet, so I don't do that. And we can flick the camera here to see all of our lovely passengers are on board. I don't know if this chap's waiting to get on or not. Do you think he is? So let's open the doors. And then from the D-pad, we can...
You're thinking of the wrong tram. With the Flexity, you still have to do it manually.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to do this. Tell me how to do it.
Exactly. So go into first-person view again. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You need to stand up and go out.
Okay. We open the door. Hey, buddy.
And then there's exactly there's a ramp on the at the door.
A ramp.
You can see.
Oh yeah, here.
Exactly this one. Exactly. You have to interact with that.
Cool.
And he'll go.
What tram was I thinking of then? The Munich tram.
Exactly. The R2-B is the one with the automatic wheelchair ramp. Other than that, you pretty much have to do it by yourself.
Sorry, sir. There we go. All right. So let's close those doors and lock them. Okay, so we're good to depart.
Yep.
Here we go. So, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the sort of key features, some of the key things about this particular route in Vienna?
Sure. We chose this route pretty much just because it's kind of the one with the most sights of Vienna. It's like the main one. I mean, it has the one in it, so obviously it's a pretty important one. Yeah, generally Vienna is like one of the largest tram networks in the world, and it has a lot of lines. I think like 28, almost 30 or something.
Wow.
We're getting a new one next year, I know, in Vienna. So it's still evolving, and things are still changing. It has been there for many years, and yeah, again, the first tram, the tram number 1, is following the first district, which is kind of the main district. It's in the middle, in the heart of Vienna, and it has again sites like the opera, the Rathaus, all those things, the Parliament. There's a lot of great stuff there, and so we chose this pretty much so everyone knows a lot of places there. Everyone in Vienna knows those places. Everyone in the world pretty much knows a lot of these places, and we wanted to show Vienna at its best with that. So that's pretty much why we chose this route.
That seems fair enough. I mean, it looks amazing. What engine did you guys use to develop TramSim?
I was Unreal Engine 4.
Unreal Engine 4, cool.
Exactly.
I'm trying to keep my eyes on signals.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that, right? So the signal you see right there, that's just kind of a warning signal for what's to come exactly here. So just so you know, okay, do I have to stop at the next light or not? Is it still say I can go or not?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, honestly, in Vienna, because I think in Munich that's actually not the case. It's just like that in Vienna, and yeah, it's a pretty interesting change as well, because I was always looking for those warning signals, and in Munich they didn't come, and so I had to do a lot of. Uh,
That light just changed to stop as I started going. So this
yeah,
one I
you
have to
need
stop
to.
at because it's 3
Yes,
dots, right?
stop.
So we need to stop here.
Exactly.
So 3 dots across means you have to stop. If it's 2 lights in a straight up line, you can go. And if it's
You can go,
one,
exactly. Yeah, you can
one,
go forward. You do
yeah,
that.
exactly. And then there's like if you're going off to the left or to the right, there's light signals that will determine whether you're able to go in that direction or not.
Hmm. So a lot of different things you have to learn there. It
Exactly.
took me a lot of time as well. Um, but I think you can manage after some time. You really get it.
Yeah, you just have to, try and pay attention as best you can. So we're basically waiting for this light to change so that we can go at the moment. So we asked, so we can go now. So you can see that light there is one to the right, which means
Exactly.
we're heading to the right, so we can go. I was going to say we had some questions prepared from your community that we could start going through sort of as we go through this video.
Hmm.
So this is the computer system here, which is telling us where we're stopping, and it's doing all the automated announcements for us, which is very nice.
Hmm.
This is quite a busy road, so you need to be careful going down here. I don't want to go too fast and end up crashing into something or someone.
You could try the cruise control there.
I could.
Or wait, there's another stop
Yeah,
right here.
when I stop at this next one, we'll give cruise control a go. How do I know when the chap in the wheelchair wants to get off?
The door won't close until he's
Right.
off.
Okay.
That's how you know. There's like a different button that the wheelchair person is the person in the wheelchair is pressing. That won't let the door close until the ramp has been opened and closed again.
Right. I understand. Okay, I think we're good to go, right? There's no signals here, is there? I'll
There's
wait
no
for
signals. I just looked as well. Yeah,
just a
you
zebra.
just have to.
Do you call it a zebra crossing?
Yeah,
Probably not. You do?
exactly. Zebrastreifen. It's called in
Right.
German. Yes,
Let's
but initially.
let's do cruise control. So I'm going to assume that it's like 30 kilometers an hour.
Mhm. I think so too.
So you can see there's a little red line that's come up at the 30. So if I accelerate to that, does it stick at that speed? No, it starts slowing down. So how do I initiate the cruise control?
I think if you drive, it just stops at that point at 30.
Oh, so it doesn't let you go higher. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
Perfect. So you haven't got to worry about it. All right, we're going to stop coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they sneak up on you,
Mm-hmm.
especially when there's no one stood at the stop waiting for you. You don't. I've had to do some quick braking a few times, not providing the best passenger experience.
Yeah, I think tram drivers pretty much just have to get used to it and do it by heart after some time. They know when the station comes, when they have to kind of go slower. It's a lot of hard work, I think.
Oh yeah, you have to be concentrating. I imagine like different, even on a different level to being a train driver because you're dealing with cars and people
Mhm.
walking around constantly. I've just re-unlocked the doors because I figured I'd be here for a while waiting for this light to go. So I may as well give people the opportunity to get on and off if they need to. I'll say that A has come
And
up, which means the lights are about to change. So I'm going to lock the
exactly.
doors and go.
We can go now.
So the first question that we got from your Discord, I think it was, is if I buy TramSim Console Edition for PS4, what happens if I then buy a PlayStation 5 later on?
The cool thing about it is that when you buy it for either PS4 or PS5, you're getting both versions at the same time. So when you buy it for PS4 and are upgrading to a PS5 later, you can still play TramSim just like just as the same on your PS5. So
Exactly.
it's pretty much
And you get the benefit of all the the graphical and loading improvements and all that kind of jazz for no additional cost.
exactly yes. Because I mean the PS4 is almost I think 10 years old this year. Is it
Yeah,
10 years?
it must be. Yeah.
This year, yeah. Man, time flies. Um, so we had to take some measures with the PS4 edition. There's fewer AI trams. It was still pretty important to have AI trams in the game, but sadly because of hardware limitations, we couldn't have as many as in the PS5 and the
Yeah.
Xbox Series X versions.
Lock the doors. Also, for those who are watching who are wondering what they're hearing, I've got a combination happening right now of my dog barking and construction people outside my window. Oh, I probably shouldn't have been able to go then. I thought I was heading off to the left, but actually I was going straight, and the indicator, the signal said I could go left. So I think I did a bad.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Right. All good
But
to
we're
go.
going to Schwedenplatz now, yes. So we're slowly starting to get from the second district into the first district. And yeah, the Schwedenplatz is just a near the Danube Channel. It is located near the Danube Channel. It's just a cool, I guess, hangout for a lot of teenagers, a lot of kids. There's a lot of bars and stuff like that as well there.
Cool.
But it's just also just as historic as a lot of the other stuff in the first district. It has a lot of kind of very old buildings that are pretty historic to the history of Vienna.
So District 1 is like city centre, is it? Versus District 2 being slightly
Exactly. Yeah.
outskirts, right? I get you. Yeah, you can tell it's
Exactly.
getting, it feels more city-like as we get further in.
Hmm.
But we started out, it was relatively scenic. We were like driving through loads of grass and stuff, like a bit more, not countryside-y, but felt like outskirts of the city as opposed to being in the city. Okay, good to go. Right, so far I've missed one signal. Let's try and keep it at one signal that I've got wrong. You can try and keep
You've been
tally.
doing a great job.
Well, thank
Honestly,
you.
you've been. Yeah.
I've put in some time. I've been practicing a little bit so that I don't totally I do an embarrassing job of this, both for my own pride and to make sure that I do a good job. Can I see that light? That looks fine.
Yep.
That's bad. Must stop.
Not there yet. You can still drive.
Really?
That's just a warning signal. If it has the I mean, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I think it is like
I
that.
thought that was a
See, because
junction, right?
yeah, no, this is the junction. So it's kind of like a warning signal that shows you what's
Right.
happening at the next
So I thought that,
junction. That's why the little black and white
yeah,
thing is
because
under the junction.
in the tutorial, it shows you that black and white sign
Mhm.
that says that something's going to could be happening really soon. So you might need to prepare to stop. So we can go now, pretty much. So I figured that the fact that it had that, but it also had 3 lines above it, meant that I had to stop there. But actually, what it's saying is you have to stop soon.
Yeah.
Get it?
As I said, it can get pretty confusing, but after some time, you'll start to figure it out.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of different signals in the underground section, right?
Hmm.
That's really good. So this is exactly that situation. So we've got the, is that like a warning sign or a, it's like an attention kind of sign, isn't it?
Exactly, yes.
So the fact that that is currently 3, like saying stopped, but that means we can go now, right?
Yeah, we can go, we can pretty much ignore that one. And the next one is going to be the actual
Yeah, which is actually saying now that
sign.
it should be good to go because it's just gone to go anyway. There it goes. There it is.
Exactly.
We understand. We've learned some stuff.
Salztorbrücke. Umsteigen zu 2a. Flughafenbus.
So what was that saying, Daniel?
I didn't hear it quite well. I think we're at Schotten. Wait, Schotten. Maybe. I didn't hear it that correctly, so we'll figure it out once we're there.
Yeah.
No, we're not at Schotten.
So if we look at this, is this accurate? Is this where we are, or is that like the next main stop?
I think that's the next one.
Cool. I wonder where this guy's going. I want to make sure I do a good job for this guy in the back. I bet this person tries to cross the road the second the lights go green. Classic person on their phone, you know. So what's your journey been like from this coming up to actually being out? Like, how have you experienced the whole launch and build up to launch? Has it been exciting? Have you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, it's been pretty exciting. Well, I've only started out in the gaming industry, honestly. So all of this is still kind of new for me.
Yeah.
But it's been really exciting. Getting to know the community, growing the community, getting to know just generally simulation games. It's been really fun playing all those games. It's been fun having Dovetail as a publisher there. It was also a first for us, and yeah, no, the launch has been, honestly, I've been loving that. I've been loving the feedback, to read all that. You can all already go, yeah, exactly.
I forgot to lock the doors. I was trying to go, but I hadn't locked the doors.
No, the feedback has been so fun. In every way, just the messages we're getting. If it's, I've never really cared if it's like just loving feedback, or maybe they found something in the game that isn't quite right, which is something we love as well, because we need to know.
Yes, it's very important.
And it's exactly, it's been really cool.
Yeah, so this is my first job in the gaming industry too, so we've got that in common.
Cool.
So this is looking like we're seeing some quite impressive looking buildings now.
Yep, and exactly, here we are now at Schottenring, which translates, I guess, to Scottish Ring.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's also a subway station at the Vienna U-Bahn, Viennese U-Bahn. Exactly, you can see the station right there, back there.
Nice.
It's also a pretty big station for everyone getting off and on. It has two subway lines, the U2 and the U4, and also all the tram lines as well. So it's a pretty important part of the Viennese public transport.
Oh, I think he wants to get off.
Exactly, I think so too.
All right. Nice. Have a great day.
Können Sie mir bitte aus dem Weg gehen?
Sorry. Did he just speak to me?
Yes, he did.
I'm
So if you're in the way, he's gonna say, können Sie mir bitte aus dem Weg gehen, which pretty much translates you, please, can you get out of the way?
Oh,
And the funny thing about this, I only learned about this recently. You know who did the voice for that?
no?
It's our CEO, Daniel,
Oh, that's amazing.
of ViewApp. So that's pretty funny that he did that.
All right, here we go. Moving on. So, where's this place? I'm going to say that's Bors.
Börse.
Oh, I got that so wrong.
Wait, let me check.
Stop here for a junction. Oh, that's changing any second.
Börse is a stock exchange.
Okay. Can use my indicators here.
And I think on either the left or the right side, we can actually see it pretty soon.
Börse.
It's like a pretty beautiful building, actually.
Okay.
Nussdorf, 40a.
You know what side it's on?
I honestly don't.
So
We need to just
wondering which
look
way
at
to look.
those. I'm always confused on which side it. Let me think about what. When was the last time I was there? I think it was on
So
the.
these red signs, do they count for me? That's just like no entry, is it? Or
Yeah, but no, they don't count for you. They're only for cars.
yeah.
Since you can see on this is the ring we're at. True, yeah, we're at the ring right now,
Okay.
which is kind of like a very big street, but it's also pretty beautiful with all those trees, and you can also ride it on your bicycle there. So it's really great. And so as you can see, the cars only go one way. That's why you have the don't enter the street, as you can, as a car, only go in one direction. But the trams have tracks on both sides, so they can go in both ways,
Either
pretty
direction,
much. Exactly.
Yeah, it looks like an expensive place to live.
Yes. It most definitely is. I
Yeah,
think
you can tell. You
first
get that
district is
vibe.
definitely.
So while we're here as well, we'll go through another question. What are the big differences between console edition and the PC version, so the original PC version?
With this, we really intensively thought about how we want to have the controls be as friendly as user-friendly as possible, without getting rid of any of the features. So the big thing we came up with is the D-pad menu. With the D-pad menu, you can get a lot of different functions there. You can try it out for a bit just now.
Yeah, when I stop at the this station, I'll show you. Like, so for example.
Well, you can try it out now, and we'll see what happens with that.
Right.
when you
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
it.
So for example, you can see
Exactly,
that now that it's
yeah.
open, time is slowed down by what, like 95%, something like that.
I think it's that.
We're going considerably slower, and if we wanted to, I don't know, turn on the in-cab light, for example, we could do that here. Or if we want to turn the passenger lights on in the back, we can do that. And then when we're done changing whatever we want to change, maybe we've got a higher speed limit, we can change that here. Then when we're done, we hit back, and then we're back in the game.
Exactly, and it's, you really have time to figure out what you want to do, which just helps. Otherwise, you would have a lot of stress
Exactly.
doing all that.
And obviously,
But you can also.
So you do
Sorry?
stuff like this. So if you were at a station and you wanted to open the doors, for example, you can go into the control, like look at the buttons themselves and press them. So when you're doing like cab startup and stuff like that, you can come over here and interact with all the different tools and things that you need to interact with. It just depends on how you'd rather do it.
Exactly. So we have the best of both worlds, pretty much. If you want to interact manually, you can do that. If you want to do it with the controller, you can do that as well. And it's really simple with the controllers to really get the most out of it. Yeah, this one is pretty weird.
Yeah.
That you have to stop in the middle of the
The
curve.
junction.
But yes, that's how it is.
Hey! 25
Oh, we got
perfect stops.
See, you're doing so great.
Thank you. And actually, you mentioned earlier, and I forgot to bring this up at the time, but you said something about like different things that you can do, so, and one of those different like challenges and stuff like that. And I saw a really fun one. Can you talk about the kebab?
Yes, so there is a pretty hidden one.
We
Where
won't tell people how, but you can tell people about it, right?
exactly, but there's some places where you can get kebab, and that's how pretty much how this achievement works. So it's relatively secret. Like döner and kebab are pretty big things here in Austria. We love to eat them, at least like the new generations. And yeah, so that's how that achievement came to be. It was just pretty obvious that we had to do something like that. And on your left, you can see the Burgtheater.
Look what
So
I've just
the-
focused in on by accident. That's funny. So what have we got here?
The Burgtheater, which is like a big theater, the main theater kind of in Austria, in Vienna.
Awesome.
A lot of really good plays were there. And on the right side, actually, that's how you can see the
Oh,
first district is like pretty important. That's the Rathaus, which
I'll
what
drive
does
past
it mean in
this.
English?
I'll drive past this
It's a
slowly.
town hall. It's a city hall
Right.
of Vienna. And one funny thing there is that every year in at the town hall, the gaming event, the Game City, happens there, which is kind of like our Austrian kind of E3 or Gamescom.
Right.
So it was also pretty important to have that in TramSim, just because it's such a big, important event actually. And it's just really cool that the city allows us to play all those games, and that for free as well.
So really,
So in here we have
this says looks like
Parliament.
Parliament. So we're into like the governing area, are we?
Yeah, as I said, like the first district is filled with all these amazing sites, and we took the best tram route to visit all of them.
It makes sense. Considering how many there are that you could have been choosing from, you obviously wanted to choose the ones where you get to see the most of the sites and the cool things that Vienna has to offer, right? Tell me about why we need to ring the bell. When would we ring the bell? Do you know?
Well, I mostly hear it shortly before they're starting to drive, just to warn passengers.
So you do it at like every stop?
Mostly, yes. It obviously it depends on the stop. If there's like a pathway so people can get to, off the street and on the street, they do ring the bell, just to warn everyone. Yeah, please don't get in front of the tram now.
Yeah.
But
funny.
yeah, it pretty much depends on.
When I started playing it, I was ringing the bell at every stop, and then I thought maybe you don't have to do that, but now I'm going to again. Cool, so we'll go a bit further, and then we'll move on to the second stage of this video, of the stream, which will be looking at a scenario and the ultra low floor. So both of these things are Deluxe Edition content. So we'll have a quick look at that, and then to round things off, we'll have a drive around Munich. So should we make this our last stop? Is there anything else do you think we should keep going forward to see before we stop in Vienna?
We can pretty much stop right there. We pretty much done with the ring. We're pretty much at the end of it, And yeah, I think a lot of sites show that it's, oh, you got another one.
And
Everybody on board.
100 passengers. Nice. Cool. Okay, so we're going to call it there with Vienna. And we're going to move on to looking at scenario and the ultra low floor. So let's get into that. So we're going to go down to this where it says timetable mode. And we're going to go across some of the scenarios. And we're going to do the shunting scenario. So a dirty train is parked at the depot and has to go to the tram wash. In this scenario, you will learn how to shunt a tram or train, and you will operate the tram wash at the depot. So we'll have a go at this. We're going to show some different conditions here as well. So we're going to imagine that this is a from a, what's the word I'm looking for? From a like a story narrative point of view. In my mind, the idea here is that, you know, we've just got up. It's the first thing we're doing before we start our shift. We're going to take the tram in that someone's left from the night before in a right state. We're going to go and get it cleaned and get ready for the start of our day, essentially. So we're going to start at 5:30 a.m. We're going to flick it over to the ULF, you call it, but I would have called it the ULF A, the ultra low floor. We're going to change the time of year to, let's say, fall, so autumn time, and we'll show some rain, so what it's like when it's less than perfect conditions, and we'll have a little look around the depot and do this scenario, see how we get on with it. So let's go back to full screen. Hopefully I don't mess this up. It's a bit more complicated, this one, because the tram won't be set up ready for us, so we have to do things from scratch. So good luck, everyone. Mostly me. But it's cool to show the shunting, like driving it from the back. So, shunting. So here we are at the depot, 5:30 in the morning, in the wet. I liked this because when I was doing the having a look at it earlier, I just think it looks really nice. Like, I love the puddle effects and the way that the lighting interacts with the water on the ground. Just think it looks visually very nice, you know?
Yeah, especially at night, it's amazing, yes.
So, right, we're going to head towards this tram, see what we've got. So this is a depot. Our tram is in lane 3, would you call it?
Yeah.
Also, I liked the audio transition from outdoor to indoor. Very nice. And you've got a very unkept tram here that really needs some cleaning.
You can actually walk a bit faster by holding R.
Oh yeah. But now I'm running, right? I feel like if I'm starting my job, there's no way I'm running at 5:30 in the morning to get to my tram. All right, so we need to open the door from the outside. Get into the cockpit and start up the vehicle. So slightly different looking cockpit, as this is a different tram. Let's close this door. Actually, we need to leave this door open because we're going to be going in and out of that loads. So we need to push the tram out of the hall and drive it towards the stopping point. So what we actually need to do here is we need to start up the tram. We need to connect it to the power and then go down to the other end of the tram to drive it out backwards, because you can't reverse your tram from the front. So we'll show a few different ways that you can do things here. First thing we need to do is put our key into this slot here. That's in, and then you press A to interact, and that's going to start the initial power up. I don't know necessarily if I need to do all these steps, but I'm just going to do some of them anyway. So we've got some power coming on there, and I'm going to click it again. And then the next thing I'm going to do is raise the pantograph, and I'm going to raise the pantograph through the D-pad menu here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all I need to do to be able to get things moving, I think. So we'll find out. What I need to do before I get up to go down the other end of the tram is I need to take this key out now. So you flick it twice to get it back to there, and then I can remove it. And the power should remain on because it's still connected to the pantograph. So I'm gonna jog down to the other end of this tram here. and we'll see a little panel here that we can open up. Oh, no, it's me. Go. And then we've got some different controls that we can use. So we need to put the key in here. And we'll turn that. Now this is the bit that I'm not entirely sure of what I'm doing, but when I seem to put it down to brake 2, it makes a sound like that.
Yeah, that's the emergency brake.
Emergency brake. But then the green light comes on, and the green light means that we're ready to move. So all I know is that that might not be what you have to do, but that's how I got it moving. Is that right?
You're still at 0. You need to put it up.
So now if I move it up, nothing will happen. So what I have to do, and you can have a look if you are stuck here, if you want to look at the tutorials, and you move to shunting. So this is the first thing you'll see here is the shunting instructions for the ULF. So I've done all the initial steps here, but to actually get the tram to move, you have to hold down Y whilst applying power, otherwise the emergency brake will remain, or the spring-loaded brakes will remain on essentially. So I'm going to hold down Y, and I'm going to press up on the D-pad. So you can see the brake is released there. That red button goes off. I press up, and we'll slowly start to nudge forwards. If I press up again, we start moving at a slightly increased speed, essentially. But we don't want to go too fast, because we're shunting. I'm just going to put it into 0, so we're coasting. And we need to head to that marker over there, about 70 odd meters away. No windscreen wipers at the back, unfortunately, so our view is slightly impaired, but that's fine. Apply a bit more power, slowing down a bit too much. And then ready to apply some brake. Right, so we need to go back to the other end and drive up to the shunting worker. Did I leave the brake on?
Yeah, you can leave that open. Or also,
I'll put it back into 0.
yeah.
Right, so back up the other end. I enjoy the scenarios. I feel like they give you different ways to experience the game, and like I enjoy the idea that it's like real life stuff for some reason, like getting my morning started, you know, that kind of thing. So you can actually see here, we'll go through this when we look at Munich in a little bit, but if I press on the left stick here, it will start to bring me up some tutorials that I can go through if I have, for whatever reason, forgotten how to get this tram moving. But I think, all being well, I should be okay. So put that into stage 2. I'm going to turn... you can help me with this, actually. Do you know what these operating modes mean? I know that you have to be in VA, but I don't know what it means.
Honestly, I don't know either. And I know that the front two, the V1s are for moving forward. I guess the other ones are for braking.
Right, yeah. I didn't expect you to know. Like, it's like, you know, these games are complicated and have a lot of detail in them. We can't be experts at everything, right?
We do have some experts here. That's probably why they're programming the game and I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah. So they do all the cool, complicated stuff, and then we have to talk about it somehow as if we know what we're doing. So actually, I forgot I should put my wipers on. We've got the lights on as well because it's dark. We're going to pull up to this guy here. Park the car in Hall 1, Track 8. I set the switches for you, so you just have to push back. I think for the example for this video, I think I'm just going to get him to do the switches for me. Do you think that's good? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't actually know how to do switching, so I'm glad that you agree. Okay, go ahead. My colleague will blow the whistle when the switch is free and you can push back. Cool. So we basically need to drive out the way so that the guys back there can switch the relevant switches behind me so that when I go down the right path, essentially to where I need to go. So we'll wait for this whistle.
And I can speak from experience. That all of this is really accurate. Actually, my father was a tram driver at the Wiener Linien in Vienna,
No way.
and I've seen him do that a couple of times to back the tram up into the depot, and it was always really nice to see that, and to see it in game and to experience it myself now is kind of an amazing feeling.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty big coincidence actually.
All right, here we go. Heading towards Hall 1, Track 8.
Which is, I guess, where the tram is going to be cleaned.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. So while we're cruising in here, let me ask you a community question. So the question is, can passengers also wear masks? I'm guessing that's something to do with the COVID mode, is it?
Exactly, yes. As we said, that's the COVID mode. We implemented that because back in 2020, 2021, and some of 2022, people had to wear masks inside the trams. And to make that accurate, we quickly decided to add a COVID mode because, yeah. And I think it was pretty clever to do that because it really helped with the immersion again.
Definitely, yeah. Right, so those red markers are like drive-through markers, so you don't need to stop at them. They're just saying continue up to that point. Other than this one, which you do need to stop at because there's a barrier at the end. So I'm just going to cruise up to this one slowly. We're just coasting. Success. Okay.
Great.
So now we need to shut down the tram. This bit I actually struggled with because I couldn't work out, when I tried it earlier, how to close the doors when there was no power. So we'll see if I remember how to do it. Probably not, but we'll see.
I'm just not going to tell you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really helpful. I appreciate it. All right, so I'll turn the wipers off. And then pantograph needs to come down. In fact, let's start with opening the door. Good idea. And then bring the pantograph down. And then I reckon if I can close this from the outside, that would be good. No? Okay, but maybe this one? Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
Now we just need to go and turn on the washer. But this is the tram wash. Just gonna jog, get my try and get my steps in, get my heart rate up a bit. Right. Cutscene.
Yes, that is so cool. I only noticed that like a few days ago when I played that scenario, that there was an actual cutscene to that.
I was hoping when I saw it, like, I hope I get to see the tram being washed, but so I'm glad this exists.
Yes, and this is also not in any way pre-rendered or something because we needed to have the same cutscene for all the different models.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We also implemented the particle system there. That was also there for the snow and for the rain. So
It looks great. It looks convincing to me.
it's so fun, really.
It sounds good too.
That especially, I think the sounds in this game are so accurate and really well done, really well recorded as well, and yeah, just
Um,
as accurate as you can get, I think.
I'm guessing all the sound comes from real life recordings of these trams in the real world, do they?
Exactly, yes, yes. So we actually went into these trams, and we were able to the Wiener Linien, so the tram line for Vienna, and the BVG, which is for Munich, allowed us to go into the trams to go and record all those sounds to really get the most accurate experience. And look at how that tram looked.
I know it's looking clean, right?
Yes.
Nice. Right. So back in, we need to drive the tram out the hall, back to the shunting worker, where I'm guessing he's going to go and tell us where we now need to park it. Let's get the pantograph back up. So this is an interesting one. In terms of the console edition, can you still use... I need to close the doors. What a rookie. Can you still use a keyboard or a mouse, for example, to play with the console version?
It wasn't intended to. There's a few keys that were kind of left over from the PC version that do work. We've noticed a bit ago, but it's not intended.
Let's get the wipers back on. Nice. Do I have the lights on? I think so.
Yes.
All right. Me again. I'd like you to set the switches for me, please. We're heading to Hall 2, Track 9. Cool. So I think we need to kind of do a similar thing to what we did last time, but it's going to take us down a different path. Oh, we got some people waking up for the morning. Didn't see anyone walking around when we first started this. All right. Up we go again.
Who would have thought you have to walk so much as a tram driver?
I know. You thought you got this job and your job would be sitting down, but it's not the case. I feel I'm definitely doing that wrong, but for some reason when I go down to brake 2, it triggers that green light to come on after a second. So it's working for me. Whether that's the right or not, I don't know.
I don't think it's the right way, but it's a way. So we'll just...
If it works, it works, right?
Exactly.
So another question from the community while we're doing this. We've kind of already spoken about it, but it was, how does the D-pad menu work? We've been showing it in action quite a bit, but maybe you could talk to sort of the process of that, of coming up with that design.
Yeah, so it was, as we said, we really wanted to optimize it for PC, for consoles. That was really important for us. And how to optimize it the most is to have controls that really work for a controller, that aren't just like putting the key assignments we have for keyboards onto a controller, but really to bring the functions as best as possible to a controller. And well, the tram has a lot of functions, as we can see here, and putting all these things into a controller would be honestly just impossible. So we had to come up with a solution. And the solution to this was pretty much just have a D-pad menu with a lot of functions that all work out. And yeah, we didn't want anyone to have to press the buttons manually if they don't want to, especially because we wanted to keep it as accurate as possible. So we still have all the German words and no translations in there, just because that's how a German tram or an Austrian tram is. Everything is in German, and yeah, that's exactly why we put up the D-pad menu so everyone can enjoy it in every language. Everyone can enjoy it with a controller. We don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to manually interact with anything. And so that's pretty much what we thought about when making the D-pad menu.
I'm just trying to make sure I shut down this tram properly.
Mhm.
Just trying to make sure it powers off. There we go. You have to leave it in 0 for a minute. You can't just put it in 0 and then take it out. You actually have to wait. You have to have the key in there,
Okay.
put it on 0, make sure it powers down, and then you can get up and go. So one thing I realized that it's hard to open the doors from the inside when the power's off. So you really need to make sure before you turn all the power off that you've opened the door. Otherwise, I got trapped in
So
here.
the button, I think the button you normally use to get the door to get the first door to open still works even after the tram has been shut down.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know what button that was in the cab.
It's
Okay.
the top right there. But there it is.
Shunting scenario complete. Ready to start the day. Awesome. So we're going to move into the final stage of today's Let's Play. And we're going to head over to Munich. We're going to stick with advanced mode, Route 23. We're going to show some different kind of conditions, I suppose. So we're going to head to spring, although I was very curious to look at Christmas, but it's too early. Way too early. I figured we'd go for... we did like a 4:30 in the afternoon. We've done a 5:30 in the morning. So I figure something like exactly 1 in the afternoon would be a good way to show, different weather and different times. So here we go, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, spring, the R2-2B. We're going to set the weather to some clouds and keep it dynamic. We're going to keep set switched automatically, but this time we're going to turn startup vehicle on, which means when we enter the tram, I know I'm being very brave, when we enter the tram, it'll be a cold start, so nothing will be on. We'll need to set up the tram from scratch. So it might take a little while, it might take a little bit of working it out, but we wanted to make sure that we showed you everything in its different levels of difficulty, because we could have just set it so that it's all set up for you, ready to go, and you just start off with the driving. But I know from an immersion point of view, obviously some people would like to experience it from doing the whole process. All right, here we are in Munich in this green vista, which I'm assuming is somewhere not so in the center of the city. We need to do everything from scratch. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to use the D-pad controls. The first thing we need to do is turn on the battery master switch. That will give us some initial power. We've also got the manual here on the left. You can see if we need that, which I may well do, we'll jump into that. So I'm going to put the driver cab key in. I'm going to raise the pantograph, and I'm going to select the direction switcher to forwards. What else do I need to do? Parking brake off. And I think that's it for the moment. Let's put some lights onto auto. It's clear and everything, so that's fine. So that, I think, is the cab setup, I think. But we also need to do the computer system to assign us to the route that we're going to do at the time we're going to do it. And if we do this, then that's what will trigger the announcements and the tannoy and all that kind of stuff, so that the display on the front of the tram will show the right stops and the route that we're doing, and it will announce for the passengers where we are and what's going on along the way. So this Fahrennummer, is that your driver number, right?
Exactly, yes.
And that can be whatever you like, as long as it's 4 digits, I think.
I don't know if it's 4 in Munich. In Vienna, it's definitely
Let's
6.
have a look. So here we're looking at, so after starting up the vehicle, we need to set up the computer system here. So we need to use the log on button. You can, let's have a look here. Driver number, enter, basically we can enter whatever we like. So after entering the driver number, a 5-digit code is needed. That's like your PIN number, I suppose, for your driver number, and that has to be 5 digits of your choosing. So our driver number is 6666, and our password is going to be no, not that. I need to go back now. 6666. Yep. And our password 00000.
Pretty safe.
Very safe and secure. And then this is where we need to put in the line number that we want to do. And as I recall, if you go into the options here and you scroll across to this schedule, you can see that right now we've not selected what it is we want to do. So we're doing route 23, and we're aiming for this 1:15 kickoff. So the vehicle turnaround number is 2301. Now I could be wrong, but I feel like if I put 2301 here, it will bring up what I need. 2301. Hit OK, and then it should populate with a list of routes that we're going to do. So we're aiming for this one here that we can see, the 1:15. I can change that if I want to wait for another one. And then we're essentially going to hit OK here, and it should load up our route plan, and that is essentially the computer system is ready to rock and roll. And if you're stuck about any of this, these guides here are pretty good at helping you through all the steps of the process. So in theory, I might be able to move. So make sure the doors are locked. I might have unlocked them. There we go, that's locked. And I've done something wrong. That's fine. But what I think it is I think I have to set the reverser to off. Then forward. Actually, I think it could be this thing here. I'm still not moving. All right, the manual. So parking brakes off. Pretty sure my parking brake is off now. Parking brake is off. Yep. The next thing, oh, that's the last thing I have to do. Battery is on. Yep. Pantograph is up. That's fine. Main switch to on. And then driver cab keys select. So, okay, main switch. Aha!
Here it is.
There it is. So hopefully, we're moving. So if I just followed the instructions that came up on screen from the beginning, I probably would have been without that problem there.
As I said, the instructions and the tutorials are your best friend.
Exactly. But I know what for me it's like. I want to have remembered how to do it, so I want to try and not do it using the tutorials. But obviously that can lend itself to you making a mistake. But at least those tutorials are right there, should you need them. So I don't think this guy wants to get on. I'm just going to wait for him for a minute. Is he going to go straight by? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I know Munich, Daniel, isn't your strongest suit because you are a Vienna person. I've written down some interesting things about Vienna. about this route. So I know that it's got 3 playable routes that feature in Bavaria's most populated city. So you've got Route 23, 27, and 28, each of which have a varying sort of number of stops and locations you can visit. And it also gives you the variety of options for sort of longer sessions of gameplay if you want to play for longer, or you can, some of the routes are shorter if you don't have as much time. Anything else you want to add about Munich?
I think you pretty much said everything we've had in here. In Munich, well, there's a few different attractions and things you can drive by, like the Alte Börse, I think, is in there as well, which is the old stock exchange. So Vienna has the stock exchange and Munich has the old stock exchange, and a few different other locations. But Munich is definitely very beautiful. I was just there, I think last week. I was in Munich for the first time. I wasn't there for long, but it was really fun and really beautiful to just.
I've not been to Munich or Vienna, so places I clearly need to tick off my list.
Well, you've been there now.
Obviously I feel like I'm there right now. Exactly, yeah. One of the differences with this tram is that there's no cruise control. So this is just a big long straight. I don't know what the speed limit is, so I'm just going to show you what it's like when you go fast.
I think you're definitely driving over the speed limit, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine, right? I think there's a station coming up. It's a big straight stretch across some grass, minimal risk to human beings and vehicles. And these guys don't appreciate it. They're all on their phones, but I feel like they appreciate that I'm trying to be prompt. The other thing that we haven't touched on yet, we won't have time to show in this stream, is that you have the flexibility if you want. If you want to, let's say, drive one of the Vienna trams in Munich, that's fine. You can do that here. Or if you want to drive this tram in Vienna, that's fine too. You can do that. So if you want to experiment with different trams and different locations, you are free to do so.
Yep, and that stuff you can pretty much only find in TramSim, because in real life you would never see that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a bit of a hassle, wouldn't it? And I'm sure there's reasons why they wouldn't technically work, maybe either. I don't know.
True. Maybe, yeah.
This is a cool bridge. So for the back to some community questions here. Oh, I must stop. With the controller layout as it is now, is it editable at all? Can you make any changes to the controller layout?
It's not. We thought about that, and mostly, I mean, changing button assignments for console games is relatively unusual normally. So that was one reason we didn't want to do that, just because we didn't think it was worth it mostly. And just generally, the button layout is so specifically made for these two controllers, or these two controllers with PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series, that it just felt unnecessary to do. Even though, yes, we did take a few liberties to make it different from, for instance, TSW3. We still think it's a great way to control, and just works amazingly well.
Yeah, from what we've seen from some of our Dovetail ambassadors who are used to making TSW or TramSim Classic content, that they picked up TramSim really quickly, despite obviously the controller layout being a bit different, but it seems like how it should work, if that makes sense. It feels natural.
Exactly. I think every other button layout would just not be right for this game.
we've got a couple of extra questions coming from the community as well. So after completing the route, can you just continue driving until the shift ends and then take the tram to the depot, or like, how does that work?
Pretty much, yes. So just like after the shunting scenario you did, you could have just driven the tram out and just driven your entire shift, pretty much. So we've taken a realistic approach there. So it doesn't end like just a level and that's it. You can actually drive past the different scenarios or table modes or something like that.
That is cool. So let's say then, because I know you can get in and out of trams, can you, I mean, you may not be able to do this, and that would be understandable. Would you be able to, let's say, finish a route and then get out of your tram and get into another person's driver's tram and take that tram over and go back the other way? Or do you have to stick with the tram you're in?
Yeah, you have to stick with the tram you're in, pretty much. We have a like a radius of how far you can go.
Yeah.
So the tram is kind of your starting point, and everything outside of that, you can kind of freely explore, but only to a certain extent.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of people have asked about like a passenger mode or something. So, yeah, nothing. I can't talk about anything pretty much.
No, I know.
But
Yeah, I know exactly that
there's a
pain.
lot of talks about
Passenger mode. I mean, it's not going to be. You're not going to have an awful lot to do in passenger mode. That's the thing. But I guess if you want to experience being a passenger on a tram, nothing beats the real thing. But if you want to experience being a driver of a tram, you're going to have to probably play the game unless you go through quite a lot of training.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
I've been a passenger on trains, a studied passenger on trams for years now, so I know how to get in and out of a tram and sit down.
Yeah, professionally.
Professionally, exactly, yes.
Right, we're getting
and you see that the junctions are different in Munich than they are in Vienna. It was a bit weird for me as well. Like the lights show different stuff. Like we had points and
yeah,
Munich has
these are lines. They're more like traditional traffic lights in a way, aren't they?
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah, because when I was pulling up, it had the middle one was on with like a circle dot, and I had no idea what that was. So I just started slowing down, and I was right because it changed to stop.
Yeah, I think the circle is kind of like the A in Vienna.
Yeah, definitely. All right, nice. So I guess we're heading into the city here. So we'll do what do you reckon, like a couple more stops, 3 or 4 more stops, and then wrap things up?
So this one is, I think, 23 you're driving in, right? Is a relatively smaller track or route, just because, like you said, we wanted to give it a varying number of stops. We wanted to have shorter sessions, longer sessions.
Of course.
For everyone to enjoy. And I think it's just pretty cool that you can have such a short route, that Munich actually has such a short route for us to be able to do that.
Change here for U3 and U6.
Cool. Do these affect us? Yes. Stop.
Ideal aussteigen. Terminus. All change, please.
Okay. Pretty sure I had to stop there pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
What does the bell sound like on this one? Nice. Friendly.
I think the Vienna ones are pretty aggressive, but I guess only because I've experienced them a lot, and a lot of, like, mostly they just use it to, instead of like shouting, go out of the way, they
Yeah.
press the bell.
It's a
and
passive
you feel
aggressive.
like
Yeah.
yes, and you feel very obligated to run across the street so they don't hit you.
I think I'm good actually. I can't quite see the light, but I'm pretty sure I'm safe to go.
Probably yes.
So I've got one more question for you from the community, which I think has probably come from someone who played the PC version, and that's a question about are the AI cars new models?
No, they're actually the models that we used for the PC version, as we wanted to be very faithful to the PC version with that. I think we achieved that, to be very faithful. So we also used the same model cars for that matter.
Yeah, I find it interesting. Like the way that the vehicles behave and the passengers behave is really cool. I think if it doesn't, it feels like the world is a functioning place. If you know what I mean.
Exactly, totally. I think that was what kind of struck me the most after playing it. Because first you don't really notice it, just because it feels so normal. It's one of those things that you only notice when it's missing.
Yeah.
But when you really think about it, it's such a alive city.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those, both Vienna and Munich. It's just.
I also like the fact that, like, take for the example, in the Vienna route that we showed, the chap that got on in the wheelchair, he obviously knew where he was getting on and knew where he was getting off. So they know where they're going, right? I think that's kind of cool in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to take it slow around this corner because that's quite a steep corner. Steep? I mean, that's not the word, is it? Sharp. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now we're facing back the way we came. Like I was still slightly rolling them when I opened the doors. Alright, so I guess where are we heading now then if we're going back the same way? Is it going to veer off and take us somewhere different?
I think it's gonna take us the same way we came from.
Oh, nice. So we're essentially doing a loop. Okay. Well, I'll transition back to this gameplay stroke us on camera scene, and we can, I guess, wrap things up. So, I mean, first of all, as a reminder, TramSim Console Edition is out now, and you can purchase it for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. It's only available digitally, so you can get it through the relevant stores on your console. You may even be able to get it through the website and the app, whatever it is you want to use. Pricing, as a reminder, for standard edition, £32.99 in pounds, £39.99 in dollars and euros, and the deluxe edition that comes with the addition of the ultra low floor, scenarios for Vienna, and the Vienna Favoriten depot. Was that good? No, it was bad. Is part of the deluxe
I
edition.
didn't say that.
I know, I'm just not very good at it, apparently. And I've been Ben. I'm the Senior Community Manager. Thank you very much for joining me, Daniel, from the ViewApp team. It's been an absolute pleasure. You can see all of TramSim's social media stuff down the bottom there. Go and drop them a follow, join their Discord, and stay up to date with everything that's going on TramSim and ViewApp. Anything else you want to sign off with, Daniel?
Just thank you for having me. It's been really great watching you play TramSim.
Thank you. I don't feel like, honestly, I've done too bad of a job. I don't think I've entirely embarrassed myself. I would give myself, I reckon I'd give myself like 6.5 out of 10.
It was more than that, but
Somewhere close to that.
yeah.
I appreciate it. All right. See you later, Daniel, and see you later, everyone watching. Have a good one.